Okay, this next one we're gonna do, similarly to the sphere, we're going to make it a little bit more complex by making it an apple. But remember, in doing so, we're just working with a circle and lines. No need to fret or overcomplicate anything. We'll keep it simple and go for accurate values. And again, this is one step up, so hopefully at this point, you have already done numerous exercises of just a blank sphere, cube, whatever it is. Hopefully you've practiced that enough times, so coming to this should seem like a very natural step up. So we're gonna do a very light draw-in, a very light sketch-in, and then we'll go to gradually building up our tones, and then kind of last minute thing, check our edges and make sure everything's a hard edge where we need it to be and a soft edge where we need soft edges. So let's get started. Okay, so we have our rough shape built in. From here, I'm gonna soften some of these edges and we'll see about really getting the shape. Okay, better. From here, we're going to draw in our shadow shape. Just like that, there's like that. Rough shape. Now let's sketch in ever so lightly our shadows. Feel free to follow along as I'm doing this. You can also pick your own reference to do with me. And remember, we're looking for the biggest shapes to block in at once. So let's do this. I'm gonna do a brief little, I have my 4B pencil again. And I'm just gonna do a wash over all of this. I'm not gonna fill in a full box this time. I'm just gonna kind of do immediately what's around the apple. All right, good base understanding of what's going on. Now let's dive in and kind of put everything together and build up these values. There is a little bit of a reflected light down here. So I'm just going to remember to be very mindful of that and not go totally dark everywhere. The darkest parts of my cast shadows are right here. I can always specify later. It's way more important that I keep things light-handed right now. So this is honestly another very dark zone. It's right here, all the way through until the start of that. And again, I'm just slowly working these in and out of each other, the darks and the lights, gradually in order to build up those true tones. So our highlights, I basically see one like right here. There's one like right here. And there's one here. Again, I don't want to do this too darkly or aggressively. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the darks and just do such a light wash to get an idea of where these kind of like light shadows are. And then I'll gradually build them up, but I just want to know where they are first. I'm frequently taking the opportunity, you can't see my face while I'm doing this, but I am frequently taking the time to kind of squint my eyes and double check my values. I'm doing that a lot as I'm going through this. It's really easy to go darker. It can be quite a bit more difficult to go lighter. So I'd rather be very conservative and, you know, take my time. But I also want to get there. So I do need to push things where they need to be pushed and not push them where they don't need to be. So squinting will help just kind of clarify things for you and simplify. That's a good base start. And then I'm going to start doing this shadow. Gradually gets lighter as it goes this way and that way. So make sure we start darker here. And again, just taking my time. There's almost a disappearing edge right here, so staying true to that. It's funny, once that's done, you can kind of see that this cast shadow is a little extreme. So I'm softly just knocking that back a little bit. And then now let's go into the background. This side's darker, this side's lighter. And the reason they do that, you can see this hard dark edge and this soft light edge. To create the most contrast, we're going to keep this side lighter so that it's more contrasty. Same goes with this. This side's going to be darker so that this side pops and there's more contrast. The edge that we're actually seeing is from the background, not from a line that the apple has created. So it's like this line, though it looks like it belongs to the apple, is actually the contrast of the background to the apple. Okay, so to finish this off, we're just going through and blending edges and harsh spots. I am going to go through and kind of blend things with my finger as well, but I'm just making sure that these gradients all read correctly. Okay, so that's kind of there. That's kind of it for this. So I'm gonna go through with my finger now. I'm gonna start with this core shadow and blend out the way that the gradation goes. I'm gonna go to this background, soften up some of these harder lines, which the better paper you have, the less you kind of run into this streakiness. But soften that edge, soften the edge of this apple, definitely soften this dark area and these transitions, leaving that highlight alone. Don't forget to date it. And again, so this is one step up on the complexity level. And now that we've done this, I want you to find similar items. So more object-like things that aren't a perfect square or cylinder. They have kind of an off shape, they have texture on it. Whatever it is, it's not perfection, and that's where this added complexity comes in, because you're dealing with imperfect shapes, imperfect textures, and learning how to accurately capture that with value and the gradation of value. So that's your next assignment is to find things like lemons, oranges, bananas, eggs, whatever it is that is still somewhat of a geometric shape, it just has some imperfect qualities to it. Those would be perfect exercises, and then just repeat this a few times until you're comfortable, and then we'll move on to the next one. We're gonna do basic orientation of everything. Just make sure that everything is spatially where it's generally supposed to be. Okay, overall, I'm generally pretty pleased with this. So we are now just gonna solidify some of these lines. I'm just gonna make some of these just ever so slightly. So the cool thing that we're gonna do now is as we progressively move to this egg, we're going to render accordingly. What I mean by that is, so for this one, we're gonna put in the shadow of everything. Then this one is gonna be pushed one step further where it's kind of shaded in. This one won't be, and then this one's fully rendered. So we'll see kind of just basic outline, beginning value, and then fully rendered. Okay, so everything there is basically marked in. Again, we're leaving this one like that. And this one is going to be fully rendered. Forgot to do that for this one.